Today in StoryBOT, we are going to talk about best 15 version of Spider-Man. As Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse reveals, the Peter Parker that fans know and love isn't the only Spider-Man out there. Spider-Man is typically shown as the only web-slinging superhero in existence in on-screen versions of the character, although Marvel Comics has published several alternate realities over the years, many of which included distinctive Spider-Man characters. Even while this Peter may be entirely different from the one most people are familiar with, most of these alternate realities have their own unique versions of him. One of the more well-known examples of this is Spider-Man Noir, whose name is really the only thing that makes him resemble Peter Parker. His objectives and mannerisms are quite different, and he otherwise feels like a whole other character. Number 1 is Superior Spider-Man. Another spider hero from the mainstream Marvel Universe is the Superior Spider-Man, aka Otto Octavius, aka Doc Ock. After a rather confusing incident where Peter and Otto essentially switched minds, Otto became stuck in the body of Peter Parker, while the mind of Peter lost his life in the body of Otto. Finally being able to understand the motivations of his nemesis, Otto had a change of heart and promised to continue the life of Peter in his body. Essentially, the Superior Spider-Man had all of the strength of Peter Parker combined with the off-the-charts genius intellect of Otto Octavius. Otto certainly surpassed Peter in his time as one of the strongest Spider-Man, even if it was short-lived. Number 2 is Cosmic Spider-Man. Unfortunately, Cosmic Spider-Man, also known as Captain Universe, is the most potent Spider-Man of all the parallel universes. This Peter Parker used the power of the Enigma Force, a totally mysterious energy that has been regarded as the pinnacle of the microverse, to become stronger than nearly any being that had ever existed. All of Spider-Man's abilities were effectively given a 10,000 upgrade thanks to the Enigma Force, which also gave him the ability to almost see across space and time, change matter down to the atomic level, and endure any temperature imaginably. During the Spider-Verse storyline, Cosmic Spider-Man provided refuge to all of the various Spider-Men and even easily defeated adversaries like Doctor Doom and the Hulk. Overall, there is no doubt that this Peter Parker is the strongest and most powerful Spider-Man that fans have ever seen. Number 3 is Spider-Man 2099. In the distant future of 2099, in another alternate universe, Miguel O'Hara took on the mantle of Spider-Man after having his DNA being biologically mixed with that of a spider, but not in the radioactive way that most of the previous Spider-Men have undergone. His abilities appear to match those of Peter Parker, but he also has a number of powers that not even Peter has. One unique power that he has is telepathy, as he is able to send messages into the minds of others at will. What really makes Spider-Man 2099 stand out, however, is the technology that he has at his disposal, from time travel devices to his suit that was built using unstable molecules in order to better suit his powers and become one of the strongest Spider-Men. Number 4 is Spider-Pink. Hobie Brown is the Spider-Man from an alternate universe where Norman Osborn is the president and is essentially a dictator, causing Brown to use his position as Spider-Man to lead a revolution against Osborn in order to destroy his segregational system. He is certainly one of the most unique Spider-Men and is actually quite comparable to aspects of our society. While Spider-Pink pretty much has the same abilities as Peter Parker, what really makes him stand out is his spider army. With a large group of followers at his back, Spider-Pink himself is practically unbeatable unless you can single him out and separate him from his devotees. Number 5 is Spider-Wolf. Although little is known about Spider-Wolf or its beginnings, what is understood is actually pretty fascinating. He's from a universe that's a little more gothic, where a lot of the people are probably werewolves. This applies equally to Spider-Wolf, the Spider-Man from this universe. Spider-Wolf is immensely strong since he combines the abilities of Spider-Man with a werewolf, which is to be expected. Knowing that Spider-Wolf may have become one of the Spider Army's most potent allies, the villain Karn set out to defeat him before he was enlisted by the Spider-Verse heroes. Number 6 is Spider-Cyborg. In a more futuristic, but also apocalyptic, alternate universe, Peter Parker not only gained his Spider-Man abilities, but cybernetic enhancements as well. His cybernetic additions covered much of his body, giving him stronger legs, metallic claws, plenty of padding, and enhanced vision. However, the most remarkable part about Spider-Cyborg's body was his sonic cannon attached to his right arm. Essentially, Spider-Cyborg was the perfect combination of Marvel's Spider-Man and DC's Cyborg, making himself into one of the most powerful heroes in the Spider-Verse. Unfortunately, like many of the other strong alternate Spider-Men, Spider-Cyborg was immediately targeted by the villain Karn due to the threat that he posed. Number 7 is Silk. One of the few alternative Spider-Men who truly originates from the normal Marvel universe is Silk. Her origins are actually connected to Peter's because she also received a radioactive spider bite shortly after Peter did. Even though Cindy Moon didn't actually become Silk for several more years, their beginnings were similar. Silk is slightly less physically strong than Peter, yet she still stands out as a more formidable hero thanks to her other skills. Her spider sense, which is more sensitive than nearly any other spider hero fans have ever seen, as well as her agility astound Peter. Finally, without the aid of mechanical web shooters, Silk can truly spin webs with her fingertips. Number 8 is Man-Spider. Man-Spider, developed by Magneto, was the genetically devolved counterpart of Spider-Man in the canonical Marvel universe. In essence, it was what Peter would have become if he had been a radioactive human who had eaten a spider. Man-Spider has gone through a few different forms throughout the years, with Spider-Man, the animated series being the most well-known. The animated series expanded into further detail on man powers, spiders showing that he not only possessed every power that Peter Parker possessed, but also had the ability to spit acid and fire webs from any limb absent of web shooters. Despite having a far lower IQ than Peter, Man-Spider ranks highly on this ranking due to his raw strength. Number 9 is Miles Morales. Being the star of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Miles Morales has recently gained attention. While he may just appear to be another generic Spider-Man, he has powers that are superior to Peter Parker's. First, Miles uses spider camouflage to almost completely disappear. Second, he has the power to shock everyone he comes in contact with. He can even conduct the electric charges via his webbing to shock individuals a great distance away. Third, since Miles' immortality has been shown to be a symptom of the Oz formula he derived his powers from, it is thought that Miles genuinely possesses immortality. Number 10 is Spider-Gwen. Given that she originates from a reality in which Gwen Stacy was bitten by a spider and Peter Parker lost his life instead, Spider-Gwen has unquestionably emerged as one of the most well-known alternate spider heroes in recent years. Like every other Spider-Verse hero, she continued to battle crime and defend New York City even after the death of her comrade. Gwen surpasses Peter Parker in status thanks to her access to police tools. Because her father, Police Captain George Stacy, is still very much alive in her universe, she has immediate access to police tools and knowledge that she may use to fight crime on a daily basis. Number 11 is Spider-Man Noir. Spider-Man Noir is a 1930s-era Peter Parker who doesn't have any particular spider-like abilities, but that doesn't mean he's not a formidable foe. This version of Spider-Man operates much like the Punisher, with a healthy dose of Sherlock Holmes in there as well. Spider-Man Noir has a rich history of training as a fighter and takes to the streets to investigate crimes. Once he has solved the crimes, he takes it upon himself to take out the criminals. He has no powers, but his web slingers still give him an advantage over the people he tracks. Number 12 is Patton Parnel. Patton Parnel is an alternate version of Peter Parker who is actually quite the opposite of Peter, being a sociopathic maniac who experimented on animals and did not necessarily become responsible when he gained his powers. Unlike the other Spider-Men, when Parnel was bitten by a spider, he gained the ability to transform into a grotesque, spider-like beast with vicious fangs, 8 eyes, and 8 limbs. Parnel only survived for 3 days before he was taken out by the villain Morlun, but he managed to do quite a bit of damage during this time. He presumably ate at least 3 people, including his uncle, and implanted hundreds of baby spiders into his love interest Sarah Jane just by biting her neck. Number 13 is Six-Armed Spider-Man. In a vintage Spider-Man comic, Peter Parker drank a potion that was designed to improve his skills, but instead caused him to get 4 extra arms, giving him 8 limbs like a spider. Although this issue was quickly resolved, a what-if comic explored what Peter Parker's life could have been like if he had kept his extra arms. The extra arms significantly improved his strength and agility, converting him into an extremely stronger version of himself as the potion had intended, even though his basic talents appeared to remain the same. He effortlessly defeated Doc Ock, managed to save Gwen Stacy, and even played a crucial part in defending the Spider-Verse. Number 14 is Spider-Ham. Peter Parker is the version of Peter Parker in the alternate universe where literally every superhero and person from the universe most fans know and love is actually some kind of animal, including Doctor Strange, the crocodile counterpart of Doctor Strange, and Whoopi Goldfish, who is just Whoopi Goldberg as a goldfish. Spider-Ham shares a lot of the same skills as the Spider-Man that most fans are familiar with, including tremendous strength, web-slinging, and the capacity to adhere to surfaces. His sole drawback is that he is the size of a pig, which is troublesome when he is facing an adversary from another universe who is a normal size. Number 14 is Spider-Woman. In one alternate universe, Peter Parker, who was still Spider-Man, and Mary Jane Watson ended up getting that happily ever after that they always dreamed of. They eventually had a daughter, who they named May Parker after Peter's aunt. May inherited some of her father's spider-like abilities and took on the persona of Spider-Girl, eventually changing her title to Spider-Woman once she reached adulthood. May's spider abilities were unfortunately slightly weaker than her father's, as the DNA she inherited was a mix between his and Mary Jane's rather than strictly Peter's DNA. Regardless, Spider-Woman proved herself to be a fantastic fighter in her universe. I will stop here. To watch more videos like this, subscribe us and stay with us. Thank you for watching.